Hey guys, so yeah, Saturday was actually pretty kind of cool. Um, Found a whole new way to get down to Portland that we've never used before, and it was just so much quicker. It felt like it saved at least an hour and a half drive time. Sorry, I got allergies or something happening right now because I'm like really stuffed up and congested this morning, and I have a cup of hot tea that's blueberry with fermented garlic honey, and yeah, it's just as horrible as it sounds. I usually use fermented garlic honey, or I should just say fermented honey garlic, or hungar is what I call it. But anyways, I usually use a tablespoon of that every couple of times throughout like the spring and the fall, whenever I start to feel a tickle in my throat. So it's in there clearing out all my sinuses and stuff. But getting back to that. So yeah, I found the new way down there, and it was just a really nice drive down. Usually when we've gone in the past, it's just been like, oh, fuck. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? And it wasn't that way this time around, so that was kind of cool. And then once we got down there, my God, I knew that Portland's homeless population was off the chain, but I didn't realize like just how off the chain it was. Like, there's homeless encampments in front of stores on the sidewalk, just out in the broad daylight. I'm like, really? And some of the encampments that we drove by, they had like 5-6 tents put together to make like an actual house size, and like barbecue, lawnmowers, the whole 9 yards. And like you could tell the like new homeless versus the old homeless. The newer homeless people kept their areas really nice, very clean, very tidy looking, where the older homeless people were kind of like disheveled, is a good politically safe term to use. And come to find out that if you kept your area really nice and clean, then you were allowed to stay there longer. We were driving down one of the major boulevards there, and there was a homeless person who made an encampment in the center divider of the road. I was just like, wow, okay. So there was that. And it was so strange for being in a huge major city. I did not see a single cop car or a police officer of any type. There was no fire department, no fire trucks, no ambulances or sirens or anything like that. No like ghetto birds or helicopters or whatever else you want to call them. So I don't know if Portland is just like a free for all right now, or if it's always been that way, because I don't know. But it was interesting. Getting to see my biological mother after 7, maybe 8 years was a real shock to me. She looks every bit her age, and she looks every bit the tweaker. In the past, she's always tried to do her makeup, um, and came out looking like Mom Mabley, but this time around, like, she had really deep crevice wrinkles. Her mouth was constantly like dry and just like chalky looking. Her dentures looked like they were just willed together. I know in the past she's used JB Weld to put her dentures back together, or Bondo, or any number of different things. She has medical insurance, and that medical insurance does cover dental. And even if it didn't cover dental, the fact that she's as old as she is, they would take care of her dentures for her. So it was just really shocking and disgusting to see her. Yeah, it's gonna leave me with a little bit of PTSD for a while, like having to know how she's living and what she's looking like now. But there's nothing we can do for her at this point. I mean, we've tried to help her in the past, and we've tried to bring her into our lives and set her up with her own place and whatever else, and it just doesn't work. The demon in her, or the tweaker in her, always comes out and always makes things a living fucking mess. Right before we moved from California up here, we let her stay with us again. And we made it very clear that she was only going to be there for a few months, that we were moving to Washington. And she went around the entire neighborhood talking to people that we've never talked to. Like, we only talked to maybe 4 people in our whole little trailer park neighborhood thing that we lived in. And those were mainly the people that my niece played with as a little kid. And she was just always so disgusting and just running her mouth. Her thing at the time was, oh, they're treating me like a mushroom, keeping me in the dark and feeding me full of shit. I'm just like, what? So yeah, as we were leaving, neighbors that we had never talked to had this whole obscure idea of the type of people we were, and it was like, well, you know what, fuck you, don't care. As we're walking out the door, we're just like you know. So yeah, it just would not be good for us to even try to bring her into our lives that we've established here in Washington. One, my sister works in a fairly respected company, has some like top level clearance with that company. Not like she works for Lockheed Martin or anything like that, but she just, it wouldn't be good for my sister's career. And in the town that I live in, there are a lot of drug users, and they all stay to themselves pretty much. But if I was to let her come and stay with me, she would have all these fucking people over at my house. I wouldn't be able to have my YouTube studio out. I wouldn't be able to leave my computer out. My cat wouldn't be safe. All my shit would be stolen. All my Funko Pop, all that other stuff. She smokes like a goddamn chimney, and she does not have any respect whatsoever for your home. We would tell her not to smoke in the living, or not to smoke in the house, period. And she would go and light her cigarette on the stove and then walk through the house to go to the front door when the back door was like a foot away from the stove. And she'd be like, "Oh, I just lost my lighter. I'm going, I'm going, I'm going." I'm like, go to the backyard. Well, I don't like it out there because the front yard has a porch on it so that I can sit. I'm like, that's not our problem. Walk from the back door around to the front door. I'm like, and her dogs, if you can even call these inbred demogorgons dogs, and they are quite literally inbred. The one dog she's had for about 14, 15 years, and it was a puppy mill because she does not believe in fixing her animals. She's never taken an animal to the vet that I could ever recall outside of a ferret when she was with my father. And above and beyond that, she is not a veterinarian person. She thinks that she's Dr. Dolittle reincarnated, but yeah. So the one dog was a puppy factory. She shit out puppies left and right 24 hours a day, it seemed like. And then the dad was breeding with her. Then the pups were breeding with her. And out of every single little litter, she had to keep one because, oh, it's just too precious. I'm like, no, get rid of them. So she's got the one puppy mill dog that has no lower jaw, is blind. All the dogs have mange. They all sleep in her bed. They're the yappiest little fucking gremlins in the universe. And she never takes them outside to go to the bathroom. They just walk over to wherever they want to walk over to, and they squat and piss and shit all over the house. Like, she's never been that goddamn disgusting. At least when I was growing up with her, she was somewhat better. And I don't know what paradigm shift happened in her universe that became okay and, like, whatever. And a lot of it is 100% pure laziness that she doesn't want to take the dogs outside. The other aspect of it is I think that she knows that she's not supposed to have that many animals in her apartment, and having the landlord or whoever see her with that many animals could get her in trouble. But I don't understand how her landlord hasn't evicted her yet because of all the bullshit going on in the house. Like, she's got 6 or 7 homeless people staying with her now. As far as I know, none of them pay her rent or give her any kind of money, but they bring in food and groceries and all this other stuff. I'm like, yeah, but can you pay the power bill with a peanut butter sandwich? Like, so I don't know. So that aspect of the trip was kind of horrible. We hung out with her for most of Saturday, and then we went to breakfast with her on Sunday, and went to like a little thrift store that was ran by Jehovah's Witnesses or something called PAX or something like that. And yeah, it was just, that was emotionally straining, and didn't even really want to deal with all that. But enough of her and that trip. So, outside of that, since last Wednesday, I have completed 2 more classes. One of them was Reactive Emotive Behavior Therapy, which is taking irrational thoughts and convictions and beliefs and breaking them down and looking for the positive in that situation. So like with me being bipolar, you would look at the what's called the ABC model, which is the activating event, what triggered you. Then for the B, it would be what was your belief, what was your conviction, what was your behavior. And then the C was the consequences of said behavior or whatever else. And in some cases, it could even be expanded to D and E for, I forget what D and E stands for right now. I literally just woke up and turned on the video. So, but anyways, got a lot of information from that. Was kind of difficult for me to listen to though, because the teacher was speaking that like Bombay English, and it was really kind of hard to hear. I'm like, what the hell is this person saying? I even went to like listening to it with my ear pods on, or not ear pods, but you know, like these doohickeys, earbuds, whatever you want to call them. And still had a huge issue trying to listen to them. But anyways, got that class taken care of. Passed it with a good grade or whatever. And then I took a class yesterday and finished it. And it was on how to help and prevent PTSD in first responders. This class I was really kind of upset with, mainly based on the fact that it was marketed the way that it was, because it was more of a first responder teaching other first responders, not a lecture on how a counselor or a therapist could teach a first responder how to circumnavigate depression and suicidal thoughts and this, that, and the other thing. So I did get a lot of good information from it, and I just had to rewrite some of the sections, like pause the video and rewrite some of the sections to make it work in a clinical mental health state. So yeah, kind of interesting. Now I'm looking for another class to take, and I got the call from the director of the state of Washington for the peer counseling support whatever you want to call it. She's the main head honcho, like everyone in the program answers to her, and she called me directly, and we talked for about 10 minutes, and I got accepted into the state training. And so she's going to be sending out emails, or she's going to be sending me an email or two telling me how to go about getting set up with that. And my training starts May 1st, and it runs for 2 weeks, but it's half days. So I'm assuming that's like 7 to... I'm assuming that it's like 7 to like noon. And apparently Zordon needs the Power Rangers. I'm sorry, guys. I literally forgot to shut that off. But, oh well, I'm not going to edit it out. So, yeah. Really excited about that. Still don't know what my next step is, if I even have a next step. As of right now, I just want to try to focus getting through the class. If there is a next step, awesome. If there's not a next step, awesome. At least I will then have my state certification. I will have the ability to use CPC on my IDs and all that other stuff, which stands for Certified Peer Counselor. Right now, I can use PC on the end of my entitlements as just peer counselor, but when I get the certification, then I get the CPC, and then I will be registered in the state of Washington to provide certified peer counseling to whomever. And yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that. So yeah, and then today I get to go with my friend Carmen to the dentist, and afterwards we are going to go do a little bit of shopping, and she's got to pick stuff up for Easter for her children and stuff like that. So I'm trying to wake up. I have a bunch of forms that I need to create, and some emails that I gotta answer and stuff, because I did crap all for Monday and Tuesday. I just kind of laid in bed and recuperated. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Anyways, good. Go ahead and let you all go. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, comment section down below. Hit like and subscribe if you have not done so already, and follow me on all the social medias. Links are in the links are in the bio, are in the show description below. And as always, thank you guys, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.